right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another installment of Talktendo. I'm Bailey. I'm joined by Chris.
Hello, it has been quite a while. You might think, what is this time gap between episode 2 and this current one, which will probably be episode 3.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it,
But what you
we
don't know
will,
is
yeah,
that time gap is gonna be consistent for every episode of Talktendo. So next episode coming out in what is it, Chris? 2024?
uh, yeah, 2025 actually. We're gonna
Oh,
do a
2025. Okay.
July 2025. We're gonna do a celebration episode then, and then
Yeah.
2030 will probably be our
A
last episode.
celebration of our third episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, it has been a second since we recorded this show. So yeah, we stopped after two episodes, not because we didn't have more to talk about, or not because we didn't want to make the show, but just life kind of got in the way. We both became pretty busy with our own things, and I think we probably set too lofty of a goal for ourselves. Like we wanted to
Mm.
record an episode every week, every other week at least. And I think now our mindset with Talktendo is more of whenever we have something we want to talk about, recording an episode then. And I think that's going to be a lot easier and just better for us in general.
Yeah, I agree. And it won't be once a year, hopefully, where we feel
Oh,
like talking about something. It'll hopefully be more consistent, but we're going to
yeah,
treat this more as an outlet for ourselves and as a way to talk about things, Nintendo and other things.
right. We'll keep the selects in there. I think, we've already brainstormed a few ideas that we're pretty excited about, both related to Nintendo and not related to Nintendo. I think the first of which, maybe I shouldn't even say this just so I don't jinx us, but we really want to make an episode on the Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out at the end of January. We're
Mhm.
really excited for just seeing the direction of where Pokemon is going. So that's just one of many that we're thinking about in the near future.
More things to come, so no worries. But today we want to actually do a review of 2021, talk about some of the things that were released, Nintendo and other than Nintendo, talk about some of our favorite stuff, and then maybe do some predictions for this
Yeah,
current year in 2022.
that's right. I think, we'll kind of start with Nintendo games. We'll just kind
Mm.
of go down the list of the releases in the year of 2021 and talk about if we played the games, what we thought, if we didn't play the games, why. And you'll probably get a pretty good sense for us along the way, I would say. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So, the first game that released February 12th. Do you know what the first game was, Chris?
Yes, sir. It was Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's
Nice.
Fury. This was a release I was really excited for. Um, because it's actually funny because around the time the Wii U dropped, I wasn't, I didn't even know the Wii U dropped. I wasn't really playing video games at the time, I guess. I'm not sure what I was doing. It was a weird age, but I actually, 3D World had dropped on the Wii U like a year after or so, like that holiday season. And that game got me back into playing video
Mm,
games. That was the whole
really?
reason why I got a Wii U. Yeah, so I was really excited for this release. Like most people, I had no idea what Bowser's Fury was going to be. Was it going to be something pertaining to 3D World? But nope, it was some. It was almost a completely new game.
Yeah, it was also a very new take on the series, like just Mario in general. And I feel like, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I kind of feel like Bowser's Fury is kind of where we might see the Mario series go in the future, which is
Mhm.
I think it's going to go open world. But I think Bowser's Fury is kind of like the first shot at what something like that might look like. And it definitely gets me really excited for the future of Mario, to say the least. But
Yeah, it's
not,
a lot of
go
talk
ahead.
recently. I feel like in video games is like this whole open world. Um, like, oh, every game like would be better if it was more like Breath of the Wild, people say, or like, oh, this open world game is like Breath of the Wild. And granted, Breath of the Wild set an amazing precedent. And the more I think about it, I feel like pertaining to like Mario and Zelda leaning towards this open world idea reminds me like reading an interview with Miyamoto
Mm.
talking about how when he was a kid he'd play in his backyard and go on adventures, like quote unquote. So, and that's what he wanted Zelda to be like. Um, I'm actually tripping up right now because Miyamoto made Zelda, right?
No,
Just
Miyamoto made Mario too.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
I'm I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's the father of both Mario, the Mario series and the Zelda series. But
okay,
no,
yeah. He definitely yeah, he definitely is. Okay, it's tripping me up because how did one person make both Zelda and
I
Mario?
know.
But
I
that
know.
was the first time I've ever felt not confident in that. But yeah, when he was a kid, he would play outside, and you can kind of see that inspiration in the first Zelda game. But I feel like Breath of the Wild and the more open world kind of like idea is always been there. Like it's nothing new to me in Moto. I feel like that's always been the end
True.
goal for what he wants out of the series.
That's a good point. It feels like it felt very natural, I guess, for Mario, kind of to that point. A 3D open world Mario. I mean, they've kind of been making the worlds bigger and bigger and bigger every chance they get.
Mhm.
Bowser's Fury to me felt like the next step of that idea, with more like kind of almost smaller Mario levels in like pockets throughout the world. And I don't know, it felt slightly different than something like Odyssey, where you might run into a town, and then like you might run into, I'm thinking about the desert world in Odyssey, like that there's a town and there's like the oasis and the pyramid. And there are like platforming areas like with the I guess would you call them runes? Or not runes,
I think the runes.
yeah, I think they're runes. Okay, like the runes, like there's some platforming elements there, but Bowser's Fury felt like there were more platforming areas, like, and that was basically every kind of structure you came to was its own little platforming puzzle. Anyway, it was very, very fun. Of course, I picked it up day one. I was excited to jump back into 3D World, and I think both of us didn't. I think you also did this, but at least for me, I took the opportunity to try to actually 100% 3D World, or at least get all the stickers
Mm.
until I found out that to do that, you have to play every single level as every character in the game.
Yeah, that's the point I
Yeah.
got to. When I had owned it for the Wii U, I never fully beat it. Um, so I wanted to do that this time around, as I did with coming with 3D World. We were coming out of the Mario anniversary. So I got to 100% 64 the year
Hmm.
prior, end of 2020. But yeah, I was really disappointed about that because that game gets really hard towards the end, and I didn't want to do that
Yeah.
again.
I did not beat it through all the worlds. I think I got to like the mushroom world.
Mhm.
They just keep on going and going after a certain point.
Really
Um,
quality game though, one of the best in the
yeah,
series for sure.
absolutely. So great release. Great to see it come back from the Wii U and get another shot on the Switch. Second release was Bravely Default 2. Chris, I don't know if you played the first Bravely Default game. I have not played either of them.
No, I have not. Bravely Default is a game I've gotten a lot of mixed reviews on.
Really?
I'm interested in novel looking games. Um, and I feel like, and I really love pixel art, so I feel like Bravely Default is up my alleyway. But I kept, every time I would bring up playing it, everybody I knew, or like everybody who I would talk to would tell me that it wasn't really worth playing.
Really?
Um,
Yeah, no, no.
yeah, I don't know.
I actually feel the same way though. I feel like the art style drew me in and just like the artwork in general, but it not enough to the point that I was gonna pick it up. And it kind of takes a special game to get me to kind of sit through a more traditional JRPG. I've definitely some of my favorite games of all time are JRPGs, but I just don't play like every single one that comes out. So I skipped this one. You did as well.
Mhm.
But next up was Monster Hunter Rise. And I have not played a Monster Hunter game, but this is one that I really want to play. But I'm just
It's
kind
the
of
one coming to
waiting.
PC, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting
Okay.
until I think the PC version, or just whenever enough friends jump into it, then I will too. But I feel like for my first Monster Hunter game, and I've heard this from different people, like it's better to go in with people that know the mechanics so that they can teach you. So I'm just kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, and luckily for us, some of our close friends really love Monster Hunter. They've
Yeah.
played a lot of the last rendition of the game, and they're really excited for this one to come to PC, especially with some of the DLC that's been announced, like the Sonic one, which is really funny.
Yeah.
There's this the Sonic costume for the cats.
Yeah, they get kind of crazy with the DLC. Um, but yeah, you think you're gonna jump into that, Chris, when they pick it up?
Honestly, I'm debating on getting a PC, so if I go through with that, I would honestly definitely play Monster Hunter.
Sounds like we have some Monster Hunter in our future. So we didn't pick it up in
Yeah.
2021, but maybe in 2022 we'll revisit it. But this next game that Nintendo released, I picked up. I was very excited about. I don't know if you picked it up. New Pokemon Snap.
This is the game I was really excited for its announcement, but I still haven't picked up. It's been really hard for me to think about spending the $60 on getting it. But every time I look up stuff about the game, I always want to play it because I want to take a picture of a Quagsire or, just some of my favorite Pokemon like an Alolan, Raichu. It just looks like a
Yeah,
fun casual game. And I really liked the
it
original. I played it a lot as a kid.
same. I still remember the Christmas that I got Pokemon Snap. I didn't
Mhm.
even know what it was. It's not like I asked for it. I'm sure my parents just saw a Pokemon and were like, "He's gonna like this," and I did.
Yeah.
Um, so I played it a ton on the N64. So it was always something that I wanted to see come back, and I thought to myself that the Switch was the perfect platform for it. So, but I actually, interestingly enough, despite that excitement, had the same issue as you did, which is, ooh, wait, do I want to spend $60 on new Pokemon Snap?
Yeah.
Uh, I actually didn't buy it day one. Looking back, and I just feel like, you know, shocked because I was so excited for a new installment in the series, but I ended up actually just, gaining up enough points on a credit card to just buy it with points. So that's kind of what I've started to do with some video games where I'm like, I know I want it, but I don't want to drop the 60 on it. I just
Mm.
like wait to build up points and then get it. And I just love, some chill weekends when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I just want to play some Pokemon Snap. Like,
Yeah.
it's very
It seems
chill.
like one of those
Yeah.
easy pickup play for like 15 minutes or so kind of games.
Yeah. Just like go through a run of it. And so I'm not terribly far, but I'm honestly treating it as a slow burn and just kind of enjoying it each time that I hop in, not
Mm.
necessarily trying to like, speed through it or anything. So, but yeah, I love it. I think it's a beautiful game. It's probably one of the best looking games on the Switch. And it's just cool to see Pokemon kind of run around in their natural environment.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah,
I might I don't know when, but one day I'll definitely pick it up. Nintendo, they don't really do price drops very
sales.
often or sales.
Yeah.
But maybe
Uh,
I'll come across
one
some
day,
points. Yeah.
maybe one day when it's like they bring back the Nintendo Selects or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully from like the 3DS era, maybe they'll bring it back for Switch and drop everything to 20. That would be
Hmm.
nice. But I guess Pokemon never participated in that, but we'll see. But anyway, there were a few drops leading up to the summer, but I feel like they weren't super interesting to either of us. So I'm just gonna kind of fly through them, and maybe we can talk about the ones that jump out to us.
Mhm.
So Miitopia Shin Megami Tensei 3, it was a remaster,
Yep.
Game Builder Garage, and Mario Golf. So I guess, did you play Miitopia on the Wii U at
No,
all?
I did not.
I didn't either. Just never really seemed like something that would personally interest me. Although I did play Tomodachi Life on 3DS, and that's kind of like a me esque game, but never did get into Miitopia. Didn't pick it up on the Switch either.
Something
Um,
like Miitopia, I feel like that falls in the category of games for me where it's like this looks like it's fun, or looks like it would be fun to play, but I'm not really willing to drop the
yeah.
money for the price tag to play it. And then I just kind of end up forgetting about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like maybe if it was free, I would try it out.
Yeah.
Or like if there was a demo, and there honestly might be, but yeah, feel the same way about that.
I can't really justify paying 50 to 60 for Miitopia, unfortunately, even though it looks like it'd be fun.
Definitely. Did you hear
Um,
anything about Game Builder Garage?
no, I did not actually.
This game actually is really cool, and this just happened to come off of me pursuing kind of developing my own video game in one of my last courses in college. It was kind of a project based course where we recreated the first dungeon from The Legend of Zelda.
Mm.
So, yeah, I learned all about, like, just the mechanics that go into building a game on the back end and how all the pieces work together and fit together. And then Game Builder Garage came out, and it was like, hey, here's everything you just learned in a college class, but here it is packaged for like a kid. And I was like,
Awesome.
man, yeah, if this would have came out when I was a kid, oh, I would have loved it. Like, it's so cool how like it's basically programming from the developers at Nintendo.
That's
Like,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, this game, I don't know how this game fell under my radar, but looking more into this, this looks like an amazing game.
yeah. I haven't picked it up personally, but there are a few, I guess elementary school, middle school kids in my life that I feel like I definitely would love to see them playing this game at some point, because
Mm.
I just feel like it's totally for kind of that age range, just to flex your creative muscles. Um, and yeah, I feel like I've seen some pretty cool things online, just projects that people have made with this. Of course, people go crazy, you know, with this kind of open sandbox like game.
Mhm. I
But
want to
last
talk
but not
about,
least,
yeah, Mario Golf. I want to
yeah,
touch on. Um, this game is, from what I've played, I don't own it personally, but I've played with you, Bailey, at your house. And my favorite part of this game is probably the costumes and the characters that you
yeah.
can play as.
But not every character has a costume, do they?
That's true. Yeah. That's
That's
the
so
one.
disrespectful.
Yeah. It's a little odd. Like, Wario gets like this amazing, like, Texan kind of outfit. You know what I mean? Like the Doug
Hmm.
Dimmadome guy from Fairly Odd Parents. And then
Yeah,
I think DK has nothing. He just wears his normal tie.
that's just
But
disrespectful.
that's what I'm
Like, I
saying.
wanted to see DK in a golf costume. What the heck?
Yeah. And Bowser gets pants, but DK gets nothing.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do love Bowser with the pants. And Bob-omb's in it. I love Bob-omb. I think, he shows up at Mario 64, and then it's like they don't touch him like ever again. What a cool character! Like Bob-ombs are almost in every iteration of Mario, and then there's a king of them. Like that's just a silly concept, and then like it's not really explored too much, or like he's not really in many other games, but I don't know. I really like King Bob a lot. I talk about him every time I get the chance to.
Yeah, it was pretty cool that they put him in the game. I also like that when he swings a golf club, he just does it with like one arm
Yeah,
because
it's
he's
so
so big
funny.
he can't even reach both arms around him. Uh, but I like to see the different ways that the Mario characters swing their golf clubs. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
I feel like that's an easy way for them to world build, excuse me, more in Mario is just taking some of these other characters they have from that they've already introduced and kind of like, exploring those a
Definitely.
little more.
Yeah, like invite more of those characters like to these kind of party games. And I feel
Hmm.
like recently I kind of feel like they've been doing a little bit better of a job of that in general. Just kind of, I think Paulina, um, or is it Pauline?
Oh man.
Pauline. Okay, cool. Pauline is in this game, and I thought that was cool too. Like, yeah, they're just kind of inviting more characters, but um, I got the game. I played it a little bit. I'm more partial to just like kind of the more casual motion controls of Mario Golf. Me and my family members, we have more fun with that than we do with the button controls. And I don't get super competitive with something like Mario Golf per se, but it was a good time. I guess my one critique, or just kind of like something I've noticed with these Mario sports games like golf and tennis, is they feel just a tiny bit cheap and rushed
Yeah,
to me.
me too.
um, it's just like I wish they would have put just a little more into the game or polished it a little more. If anything, just add more than one song in the game because like that one menu song is just the only thing that I feel like I hear. And I don't know, with a series like Mario, they have so much to pull from. Like,
Yeah.
I wish they
It's
would make the music more interesting or at least varied.
it's a little
But
frustrating, to say the least, as a diehard Mario fan and a Nintendo fan, just because we're able to look back on some of these other like the older iterations of these party games, and a lot of them still hold up really well. The Mario Golf for 64 and for GameCube still holds up. A lot of the GameCube era Mario Party games, well, not like Mario Party specifically, but Mario Party, yes, and like the Mario Baseball, Mario, the soccer one, those games all hold up still. I've played them all pretty recently, and they're really good and really quality. And yeah, it's just that's kind of what I expected in the Switch era, but they just feel kind of rushed.
yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, in 20 years, are we really going to be coming back to Mario Golf Super Rush? I don't know, but like Mario Golf on
Yeah.
N64, like, yeah, like those games, they have more charm to them, kind of just more going for them in general. And I could see some of these sports games feeling a little throwaway, after a few years. But
Mm,
not to say that I didn't have some good fun with Mario Golf.
yeah, definitely.
All right, next up, Skyward Sword HD.
Yes, this is a game I've played, but I did not pick up this HD Switch version because, truth be told, like many Zelda fans, I was not and I was thinking about this before we started recording the podcast. I was thinking, why did I not like Skyward Sword that much? And I couldn't really remember why. So maybe it's time to replay it.
Oh man, this could be a whole long conversation in itself. Just the Zelda series and the different directions that all the games have taken it in. But for me, I tried playing Skyward Sword on the Wii, but every time I would play it, I would hit my hand on something.
Oh
And
my
like,
gosh,
I know the fourth time, or the third or fourth time that it happened, I was like, I'm done with this game. And I literally never picked it up again.
it
So
sucks.
I know it was such a silly thing, but I was really looking forward to the HD version on Switch just to give it another go. I was interested in the button controls, but they did not work for me because you can't move the camera with the right stick without pressing another button first. because the right stick by default is mapped to your sword, and that felt so janky to me. So I used the motion controls, and I honestly felt like they were better than the Wii version. Of course, there's no sensor bar, so you have to recalibrate all the time. But I didn't find that to be too bothersome, and I was able to get through the entire game. So I was glad that I went back and played it. I think it holds up. I really enjoyed the story a lot. I wish more Zelda games would go in that direction when it comes to story, but
Mm,
obviously I am much more prefer the open world Zelda games to the more linear format like Skyward Sword.
mm. Yeah, if I can remember correctly, it just felt like the areas kind of felt too tapered off and a bit too linear of a game. And maybe it was because I was coming off of playing Wind Waker at that age and Twilight Princess, where I felt more free to explore, like
Yeah.
Hyrule or the Great Sea. But honestly, I would be interested in replaying Skyward Sword at some point.
Yeah, well, hey, if
But
you ever want to borrow my copy, let me know.
will do.
But well, we have spent a lot more time discussing these games than I thought we would.
That's
So let's
true.
let's run through some of these kind of quickly. So we had Pokemon Unite, No More Heroes 3, Pokemon Evolutions, and
Or
WarioWare Get It Together.
yeah,
Um, any of these you want to talk about, Chris?
Pokemon Unite is crazy to me because it feels like that game's been out a lot longer than it has. I didn't realize it only came out last July. I have not played it, but a lot of people who kind of like that genre of game style and gameplay seem to like it a lot. I see some of the characters get cool costumes, so it seems like a fun time. Pokemon Evolutions is a wonderful web series, beautiful animation. Please check it out if you are a fan of animation,
Oh
Pokemon,
yeah,
both anime, Nintendo, whatever. It's
yeah,
very quality. Every episode is different, and that's it. I mean, it works very well. I hope to see more stuff like this in the future from Nintendo.
yeah. They
WarioWare. Oh, sorry.
No, they just pulled out all the stops for Pokemon Evolutions,
Yeah,
like
they definitely did.
that. It's more of a show than anything, so not a game, but
Definitely.
still a part of this list here. But what were you gonna say about Wario?
WarioWare is a game. This is another one of those games where I would be interested in picking it up, but I'm only like kind of half interested in it. I do like the WarioWare games I've played. The thing is, I have a personal bias where I just really want a more fleshed out, like kind of like I want Wario to basically get his own like game. Kind of, I think it'd be cool. I like Wario. I think he's a cool character. I think he fits in really well with Mario and Luigi and those cast of characters, and I think he has a unique personality that could be fleshed out much more. But
Yeah,
that's nothing against WarioWare. I've heard a lot of great things about this game.
yeah. Will he always be kind of B tier in terms of getting these kind of side games, or are we
Mm,
ever gonna see a true Wario platformer or whatever the game genre ends up being? I'm with you. I would love to see what they could do with this character and just kind of take it further. But it was
mm.
cool for all those fans waiting for the next installment of WarioWare to finally get a new
They were
game.
definitely waiting a long time.
Yeah. And almost as long, actually, I don't know that for sure, but another fan base that was waiting an incredibly long time was the Metroid fan base.
Yes, that is true.
Metroid Dread came out against all odds. This game actually happened.
A
It,
franchise that many
yeah.
believed was dead.
And in this game specifically, do you know the history of Dread, Chris?
No, I do not. I have to be honest, I haven't played Dread. I'm still wait I'm going to play it though. I know this game is a game that would be in my top 10.
Oh yeah,
I haven't even seen any gameplay, but I've just been waiting to pick it up and I've somehow been avoiding everything, but
it
I want to
is.
hear all your opinions on it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think you would really like it just because that kind of 2D style.
Hmm.
harkens back to another game that I know you're a huge fan of, Smash
Yes.
Bros. And I just kind of feel like
Mhm.
this. I mean, it feels different, of course. You're exploring kind of a big, um, kind of open 2D environments, not too dissimilar to something like Hollow Knight, which I know
Mhm.
is a game that you love, a Metroidvania itself.
Yep.
Um, but no, I actually, the history of Metroid Dread is kind of crazy. This game was announced, I think, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago.
Oh my
Yeah. Did you know
gosh.
this, Chris? It was going to be the
No.
follow up to Metroid Fusion. And
What? The one
I
on the
think,
3DS
no,
or
Metroid,
DS?
yeah, Metroid Fusion was actually Game Boy Advance.
Wait, it was Game Boy Advance?
Yeah. And I actually,
Wow.
I wish that I knew exactly, but I know that it was announced as a follow up to Metroid Fusion. And I don't remember if it was announced for the Game Boy or for the DS, but it basically went into development oblivion and just
Yeah, what?
disappeared.
That's
And
insane.
it is crazy that this name, Dread, like and it's not even just the name, but apparently like the director, the writer of the original Metroid Dread worked with the team. I think it was Mercury's team that developed this. I think they're a Spanish developer, but he worked with this development team. So this is actually the Metroid Dread that we could have gotten 10 plus years ago. Actually took
Wow.
form today. It's insane, and oh man, like what can I even say about it that hasn't been said? But the movement, the gameplay, so fluid. It is a joy to play. I really enjoy the sections between kind of the more classic Metroid um, areas. I guess environments, kind of between those environments, there are these dark and mysterious, like kind of Emmy locations where these robots will chase after you, and you have to find your way to the other side or to an exit before it catches you, and just evading that enemy or those enemies like was probably my favorite part of that game. If not just seeing some classic bosses return from the Metroid franchise. I actually played all four games leading up to Dread.
Mhm.
Um, and I think I beat Metroid Fusion the weekend before Dread came out. Um, so it was pretty cool to see the series get wrapped up in this way. And
It's
yeah, I definitely
amazing.
think you should play it.
Yeah, this will be my first Metroid game. So it'll be interesting. You coming off of playing the four before it and me playing that is my first one. Um,
Yeah, I might recommend a few recaps for you because I think walking into it with some knowledge of at least the story, and it has a recap at the beginning, so it kind of tries to cue you into those things. But I definitely recommend trying to get a little bit of a grasp on the story. But
awesome. All right.
it's a worthy first Metroid game for sure. All right, Mario Party Superstars. We've been playing
Yeah,
this one.
we have been playing this one. Listen, let me paint this picture for you from my perspective. Years, drop after drop of Mario Party that does not feel like
Mm-mm.
a Mario Party.
Oh my gosh.
It has been, I cannot remember the last time a Mario Party dropped that I enjoyed playing.
Bro,
The first one on Switch, I did not like that. It dates back even before the Switch era. I didn't like the Wii U one either.
no,
Um,
and even the second Wii one, it was Mario Party 9 was
yeah.
the first one that brought in that car mechanic where you
Hmm.
all travel together. Man, it wasn't it it's been since Mario Party 8 for me.
But this one is spectacular. This is this could be a definitive Mario Party game. This game is feels super polished. It has great music. It has a great cast that you can pick from. The maps are awesome. I love the stickers is the best thing they've ever introduced to the series,
It is.
except in Mario Party 2 when they had costumes, which I wish they brought back, but listen, that's okay. My my only complaint is the costumes. I would love some more maps because I know they have a lot of maps to pick from, even from the GameCube era. I think for a game that is supposed to be a culmination of like all the best Mario Party games, we only have maps from the first three. I'd love to see some GameCube maps.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, the one thing that I want from Mario Party Superstars
Hmm.
is more Mario Party Superstars. I
Yeah,
want DLC so
basically.
bad. Yeah. But for what's there, I think you said it perfectly. It's just a great culmination of all the games before it. I also
Mhm.
love the dedication and just kind of looking back at the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
At least for me, I've really been enjoying spending my coins on the encyclopedia pages, um, which are these kind of items you can buy at a Toad shop
Mhm.
that are little blurbs about all the games, all the characters, which games they appeared in, the maps, and I don't know, the history of Mario Party preserved in this way. I think is really
Yeah.
neat as well.
And I feel like this is a lost art uh recently where a lot of this isn't really a remake of really of I wouldn't really call it a remake or anything, but it is like, culmination.
Yeah.
Supposed to pay heavy homage to where it came from originally. But in like remakes and stuff, you don't really get these kind of blurbs or like these cool kind of things where you get to read about these things. You get the
Hmm.
pictures of what the old game looked like.
Yeah.
Something that you used to see in like a Kirby remake, um, or a Sonic one, like in the 2010s or late
Yeah.
2000s. But I'm happy to see it coming back like this. Hopefully, this sets a precedent. But I'm just really happy
Absolutely.
with this game.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with it as well. I think it also brings back some of the quintessential classics in terms of mini games. Like, come
Definitely.
on, bumper balls. I mean,
Yes.
like the one when you're on top of the mountain rolling the snowballs. I love that one.
Hmm.
Um, all the button mashing ones, like the one where you wind up the is like a flying shy guy.
Yeah. Or the everybody loves the snowboard one where you have to try to do a turn as fast as you can. That one's so fun. It's so simple but so fun. I love really all the mini games they have.
Yeah, I think they did a great job bringing them up. Also, not to mention the game is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but it feels like a crisp 1080p, like very
Hmm.
polished looking game
Very
to me.
polished.
So it's pretty cool to see the characters kind of in that very, I don't know, just HD. I guess from a Nintendo fan, probably for fans of other, uh, game consoles, this sounds weird, but from a Nintendo fan's perspective, where it feels like HD is a relatively new thing for us, just because we had to wait so long for it. Like, it's just cool to see these characters look so good.
Yeah, definitely.
But
What want to quickly go over these last two
yeah,
installments we have so we can do some predictions. Shin Megami Tensei 5, this game. Listen, I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. I'm maybe one third into Persona 5 Royal, which I still need to go back to and beat, but hey, it says take your time, so I'm gonna take my time. This game would definitely be the game that gets me to play Shin Megami Tensei though. It it looks really fun. Um, every time I see fans of the game post screen caps or whatever, I'm just intrigued. I'm like, oh, well, like this background, like what is this environment they're in? It looks cool. Like this main character looks cool. I like, I don't know, it looks cool. Just to
yeah, I
sum it
agree.
up.
Yeah, no, that sums it up well. I'm with you in the camp of needing to beat Persona 5 first,
Yeah,
though. I feel you there.
yeah, I can't pick up another 1 hour plus game. at the
Nah.
moment.
Nope. Me neither.
But Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, this was my most anticipated game for the
Really?
year.
Okay.
Yes. Since the Pokemon Direct the year prior, I have been waiting patiently for this game to come out. Diamond and Pearl were those were my favorite games, and Platinum growing up. I had over 500 hours in Diamond.
Oh my gosh.
That was the game I had the
Wow.
most hours in up until I started playing Smash Brothers in college. Um, and yeah, I just spent a lot of time with those games. I love them. I know, in retrospect, this generation has a lot of mixed reviews from fans, and this drop in particular has a lot of controversy as well. Some saying it's too faithful, and other things of the sort. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
this game. Um, After having played it and hearing some of the criticisms, I would tend to agree that I'll just list a few things like we have access to all these Pokemon in this game. How come we still only go through the same like two or three in each route area? I agree with
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Yeah.
how come we can't have the non-random encounters? We have them in the underground, but just things like that. Overall, though, if you want a faithful remake, this certainly is one, and I still enjoyed it. I still had a really good time playing it. I'll probably play more of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that they at least kind of, because you want to make a Pokemon game for every fan, and I feel like
Yeah.
this Pokemon game kind of meets the fans like you and some of our friends who are looking for that more faithful Pokemon experience, who were let down by Pokemon Let's Go, wanted something that felt more classic, like what they grew up with.
Mm,
So, in that way, I think Diamond and Pearl, these remakes were a nice way to meet that fan specifically. For me, I did not pick up Diamond and Pearl. The last few Pokemon games I've played, being the last two on Switch,
yeah.
I didn't get all the way through. I feel just slightly fatigued by the Pokemon formula. Not that I
Hmm.
don't. My love for Pokemon in the series has not waned, but I just needed a little bit of a break. So for me, I did play. I had Pearl when I was growing up, loved it to death, but for me, just not not quite the timing to jump into a Pokemon game, but it's definitely on my radar. I might pick it up at some point.
Yeah, definitely. But
But
okay,
yeah.
that wraps up all of Nintendo kind of for 2021. Um, we spent a lot longer than I thought we would on that, but it seems like we had
Yeah.
more to say than I even anticipated. Not a bad thing
Honestly,
though.
so even more that I think we could say even more about a lot of these games, but I think we'll
Yeah,
have to have follow up podcasts for those.
definitely.
Like definitely more to say about the Pokemon series, but yeah, we'll leave it there. I kind of thought, I might run down a few non Nintendo games that I played this year, but again, feeling like we pretty well covered 2021 in terms of Nintendo, and I think maybe another podcast where we talk about just some of our favorite games in general might be a better place for those non-Nintendo games. There were definitely some fantastic games that I played this year that
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about, but yeah, I'm feeling like jumping into the 2022 predictions. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Oh man, where to begin? So, as I was thinking about 2022 for Nintendo, I've looked, I've seen some predictions before, and just kind of making my own predictions as I go along. I've always kind of felt like when I sat down to really write out a prediction for the year, that wouldn't be too hard. I kind of was like,
Mm,
that'll be pretty easy. I think I could predict Nintendo pretty well. I followed them for a long time. This was a lot harder than I expected it to be.
yeah.
Um, when you really, I don't know if you went this far with it, Chris, but I actually like broke some games down by month. Like I was like,
Okay.
this one's going to release in this month, this one's going to release in this month, and trying to line it up to where it makes sense in conjunction with everything else is coming out is actually a lot harder than I anticipated, because you don't want to put like two RPGs right next to each other. You don't want to put like
Right.
a Zelda game right in front of another Zelda game. Like that doesn't make sense. Or at least you would expect Nintendo not to do something like that, but we know Nintendo's kind of, in their own little world. So not that they
Yeah.
couldn't pull a stunt like that, but yeah, all of that to say, this was a little harder than I expected it to be, but I did write a few. So I guess firstly, I guess I'll start with what we know. So we
Yeah.
know Pokemon Legends Arceus is, January. We
Hmm.
actually know Project, and actually it's not Project anymore. Triangle Strategy is in March.
Hmm.
Um, and then we also know that Kirby, Splatoon 3, Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, and Bayonetta 3, and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, that was a lot of them, are at least slated for this year.
Hmm.
And for me, I'm feeling like Kirby is that quintessential spring game. It feels like a
I
May.
agree too. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like that May time slot for sure
Yeah.
for
April or
Kirby.
May for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Splatoon, it has before released in July. So I put it in July again.
Me too. It feels like a summer game.
There you go. We're two for two then. Hopefully we're not completely off the money.
Mhm.
But then Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, I put in September. I do think it's going to release this year, and I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
go on.
yeah, that early fall time frame seems to make sense in my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like a an end of summer wind down kind of game, beginning of fall. And Bayonetta 3 feels like a fall drop for me, or like October. Just Bayonetta, she's a witch, and it just kind of feels like I don't know, it just makes sense to me.
That's funny because I literally put Bayonetta 3 in October as well, for that same exact reason. So, Nintendo, here's free marketing for you. If it
Yeah.
wasn't obvious already, put The Witch in the Halloween month.
Yeah.
And no, I think Mario plus Rabbids, the first one came out around that early fall time frame for the
Mhm.
first game. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense for me here as well. In agreement with you that I do think Bayonetta 3 will hit this year. That was a question mark in my head, but I think it's gonna make it to 2022.
Mhm. I agree.
But
And that's a game I've never played a Bayonetta game, but that's a game I really want to pick up. And I think I'll make the time
same,
for.
same. I've never played a Bayonetta game either, but I'm pretty sure this one's done by Platinum, and I love the Nier series, so I definitely want
Mhm.
to jump into anything else that Platinum creates.
Do we talk about some of our non-confirmed games now?
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to kick us off?
Um, yes, I want to pull up some of the already rumored games.
Yeah, because you texted me the other day about a leak that you had found, right?
Yes, one of the I'm not on Twitter as of right now, and I actually did not know about like Nintendo Leaks Twitter until recently. Just watching some videos, but how about I quickly go through some of these rumors and we could talk about them a little
Yeah,
bit?
let's do it.
So there's a rumored Metroid Prime 1 remaster or
Hmm.
remake.
Yep,
There's
I've heard
a
that one.
new 2D Donkey Kong
Mm.
in the works, possibly. Another Fire Emblem remake.
Oh, really? I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that one.
I'm not sure. Well, no one's really sure which one it would be. But last year they did the first Fire Emblem remake or remaster.
Oh yeah, like the
Like
very
for Marth.
they it wasn't like a remake. I think they just ported it to the Switch, I
Okay.
think.
Some other things that were thought to be or rumored to be dropped is a Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages
Hmm.
remake done by the same company that made the Link's Awakening game. and
Right.
then another like remake or remaster of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Bro, I
Yeah,
need this. I need Wind Waker on Switch. I want to play it again
yeah,
so bad.
me too.
Man, that would be amazing.
But I think this year's kind of weird because we're not a lot of the things that have been obstacles for Nintendo since the pandemic for most companies has been global supply chain, and I feel like that's messed up a lot of things and how they work. Um, a lot of fans are upset about how Nintendo kind of handled Zelda's 35th anniversary
Yeah.
last year. It just kind of swept it under the rug, which didn't really make a lot of sense. Because Zelda is their one of their
Yeah.
biggest franchises next to Mario.
Especially when they rolled out the red carpet for Mario and did like a whole direct for him, and he
Yeah,
got his own little remake trilogy game come out. Yeah, and then nothing for Zelda. That
I
hurt.
feel like they just I don't feel like they did that because they wanted to. This is the same company that gave Luigi his own year, but
True.
I
So
think
you
it's
think it had
because of
something to do with the supply issues, just kind of the
yeah, and how they work. Because knowing Nintendo, I just don't feel like they would. They tend to. I feel like they tend to just not talk about stuff rather than saying, "Oh, you might expect this, but this is what's going on." You know what I mean?
yeah, they just kind of leave us in the dark, so to speak. Like they're
Yeah.
not going to be like, "Hey guys, like sorry, we wanted to do something for Zelda, but like uh it's tough out here." They're not going to say
Mm.
something like that. Um, they're just going to kind of sweep over it and move on. Are there any other off that list, Chris?
Let me look again. I know I'm missing. I
Wait, what
feel like for
about
sure.
Mario Kart? Wasn't it a part of
Oh
that league?
yes, the rumored Mario Kart. This is what people have mostly been talking about. I can't believe I
Yeah.
forgot. Um, so it was rumored that the next Mario Kart, Mario Kart 9, we'll just title it that, sure, is actually gonna be like a Smash Brothers kind of cast where it's not just Mario characters, but it'll be like more encompassing of Nintendo characters. And they're trying to. It seems like they're just gonna try to change the formula to be more like Nintendo Kart. I don't think they would name it Nintendo Kart that because that's weird.
Yeah.
They've never
Yeah.
put their own name in a game title before, but um, yeah, this would be. I have a lot of thoughts about this. It'd be really interesting. I feel like this is very plausible, especially towards the end of Mario Kart 8's DLC characters. We had Isabelle and Villager. We had Link.
Mhm.
Um, those
Yeah.
aren't typical Mario Kart characters. So
It felt like they were already kind of pushing in that direction with the DLC
yeah.
for Mario Kart 8. And actually, I heard something today that was kind of interesting that this game might actually be Mario Kart 10 if you
Mm.
consider the Mario Kart game on the cell phones as Mario Kart
Oh, right.
9. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But to your point, I think that's a safe bet. I feel like I also saw, kind of a lot of reporting that they're going to shake up the series in some major way. I think that in and of itself would be a big shakeup, but I think if you're going to add all these historic Nintendo characters, you need to do a little more to make them feel unique to play. Maybe even instead of like item boxes, each character has their own move with like a cooldown or something, like to
Mm.
make it more like almost Smash Brothers in that way, where every character isn't just representing its series and in being in the game, but also its move set is representative of the series in some way. I feel
Yeah.
like that could be another big shakeup. I don't know. I feel like if you're putting all these characters, you might as well make them represent their series as much as you can.
No, I totally agree. They can definitely take down a few different avenues. I could I could certainly see there being something like paying homage to Double Dash, where if you do a certain like pick a if you did a certain combination of characters, you get like a special item. Like if you picked the Koopa Troopa and the Para Koopa Troopa, they had like their special item was like green shells and red shells. Like Mario and Luigi, they got like mushrooms, I think, and stuff like that. So if you had like Link or trying to think like maybe Inkling, maybe you could do something where they get like maybe Inkling gets a splatter bomb, maybe
Yeah.
Link has um like one of his arrows or one of the bombs. Then maybe you
I
could
would love to
like
see something like that. Yeah.
yeah, like maybe you could throw one of those square bombs from Breath of the Wild, and then you could like detonate it whenever you wanted during the
Oh, that
round.
would be
That'd
cool.
be that'd be interesting, right? But
You like you're just watching the map until the person drives by that you want to uh, target or whatever.
yeah,
No, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. And I also feel like, maybe they do keep the mystery boxes because I feel like to me it's hard to picture Mario Kart without them. But
yeah,
maybe it's like, yeah, there's a bomb item, but for every character, they have a bomb that represents their series. Like
mhm,
it feels like every character has a series that's been explored enough that they would have different projectiles like that they could use.
yeah.
Um,
I feel like it would be cool if they fleshed out more of it being like a fighter kart game. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that would be pretty
But
cool. But do you think this would come? Like, do you think we're gonna hear about this year? Do you think it's gonna be something we hear about next year, release next year? Like, what are you feeling about the next Mario Kart game?
I could see it going one of two ways. I feel like either way, it will be announced at E3.
Really?
Um, and then
All
it'll
right, I
either
hope so.
be, I think it'll be like their fall release, maybe.
You think it's gonna come out this year?
Well, I could see it going that way, or they announce it at E3 and then they say it's a spring 2023 game. And then we're like, I think 2023 will be like maybe the last year of the Switch. And then 2023 is like late enough for either way, it's going to be also on whatever is after the Switch
Yeah.
for Nintendo, as like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was for Switch, as opposed to Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. But
That is actually what I was about to say as well. I feel like they definitely want another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe situation
I
where
agree.
they release it on whatever the next console is so that it can just rack up sales throughout the course
Yeah.
of the life because I feel like at this point every Nintendo console needs its Mario Kart. It's kind of like the bread
Mhm.
and butter. The
Yeah.
first game that a lot of families or just kind of even individual gamers pick up
Mhm.
for the Switch. It's like a classic must have.
Yeah.
So to
It's kind
me,
of one of the highlights of owning the system.
it
You know what I mean?
is actually, yeah. And it's the top selling game too by a wide margin on the
I
Switch.
believe that.
And it's literally a game from 2013 on the Wii U.
It's so
So
insane to me.
so it would not shock me in the slightest if Nintendo's waited for the next Mario Kart game to give
Hmm.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe enough time to just sell as many copies as they can so they're not cannibalizing those sales at all, but then they're
Right.
going to drop it right at the end and they're going to make it cross platform with the next one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, totally feel like that's what's going to happen. But for me, I actually put no Mario Kart for this year. I don't think we're going to see it. If we do see it, I think maybe at the end of the year. Um,
Mhm.
but I think it's definitely a 2023 in my mind. But
Right.
I'd love for that to be wrong. But
Yeah.
another prediction that I had for 2022 was Pokemon Let's Go Gen 2.
Yeah, that was one I was forgetting about.
Yeah, I think you brought this up, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense because I could see the Pokemon. It feels like Pokemon from here until the end of time is going to have a Pokemon game release in November. And I feel
Mm,
like what they're kind of building up to is this like, let's go, next generation of Pokemon, classic remake, let's go, and then just
mm.
repeat the cycle.
I could
Um,
see that happening. Or that
yeah,
might at least be
mhm.
the cycle again this year or this year.
And so I think that's going to be the November kind of holiday release, like it always is for Pokemon. But I'm really excited in particular for a Gen 2 Let's Go. I hope that's true because it's a generation that I love the designs of all the Pokemon, but I've never actually played any of the games.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to kind of dive into that generation.
Generation 2 is one of my favorites. So I didn't pick up the first Let's Go because I was annoyed at the concept of it. But now, after, everything's kind of settled, I'm more open to playing it. It looks fun, like it looks good to me now. So if they dropped another Let's Go, I would definitely pick it up, especially for Generation 2. I think it'd be cool.
Absolutely. So for me, I also feel like so here's the elephant in the room. Zelda. And I know we got to wrap
Yep.
up in a few minutes here, but we got to talk about this
Yeah, we got to talk
before we
about
sign
this.
off. Is Breath of the Wild 2 a 2022 game? What do you think, Chris?
Absolutely. I will be playing Breath of the Wild 2 this Christmas, this year.
Really?
I really
Okay.
think so. I think they
Okay.
have
I
to do it.
hope so.
I
I hope
actually
so so bad.
I actually think they wanted to release it last year with the anniversary, but
Yeah.
because of the things from the pandemic, they had to move everything a year forward. Ultimately, I think moving uh or elongating the Switch's life cycle by a year as well. Um
I think you're right on that, but for me, because I could have totally seen them working towards that 35th anniversary reveal.
yeah,
For me, I feel like it's gonna fall. I feel like it's gonna fall to spring 2023, and only because to me, Zelda does not need a holiday release. You can release Zelda in any month on any day, and there's gonna be a line outside of every store because this game, this series, it doesn't need a push in the holiday season. And I feel
no,
like Nintendo as a business is they got to be aware of that. And to me, I feel like a strong single player game like that is a spring release, and I don't think it's going to be this spring. So for me, I think it's going to fall, but I think the Zelda remakes of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are going to take the place of it
oh, you think
early
so?
fall. That's what I
Okay.
think.
So my thought process was that I don't think this year we'll get the if we do get the rumored Oracle of Ages and Seasons, we won't get that this year. I think we'll get it in 2023, but it'll be announced this year. And
If
yeah,
that game is real, I feel like they're going to hold it for a while, even if it's ready, because I think it
mm,
could conceivably be ready, but you don't want to have too many in a row, or you risk a Zelda fan feeling like, oh, which Zelda game do I get?
it's
There's
true.
actually so many, um, you know,
They all,
and
yeah,
I feel like they usually kind of spread it out.
yeah. You might be right. Also, I just remembered that the Mario movie is supposed to drop this winter.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about
Like
that.
this
Wait,
Christmas season.
are
So
we gonna see a Mario game instead? Because that was the weird
that's what I'm
thing.
thinking, huh? That they
That
might
was
want to do that.
Oh wait, no, we do have Mario plus Rabbids. At first, I was like, wait, is there not a Mario game this year? Because there's at least one Mario game, like whether it's a
Yeah.
spin-off or whatnot. Every year, it feels like. So no, there is a Mario game, but yeah, that's a good point too. I wonder if that could influence anything. Well, that about wraps it up for our predictions. We definitely talked
Yeah.
for way longer than I thought we were going to on
Hmm.
everything 2021, everything 2022. I feel like we totally could have broke this episode into two episodes and spent the whole
Definitely.
time talking about each of them. But uh, this was efficient, and we got a lot more exciting episodes to cover. So I'm glad we have
Yes, we
our
do.
predictions out there, and I'm excited to see what we might get right and what might surprise us.
Yep. What a great
Uh,
episode. I'm so happy we're back. And
Me
thank you
too.
all for listening. If you made it here, you were absolutely amazing. And please, stick with us as we will continue to release more at a more consistent pace.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.